this video we are going to explain in more detail a challenge, what we can put inside a challenge. So in a previous video we create a simple challenge, and now to modify the challenge we need to press this red button and then the second button over here. Now we select the group where our challenge is located, and then we select our challenge, legs exercise. Now we can recognize our previous challenge. The name was leg exercise. This challenge has two fields, squat and deadlift. In the squat field we have two parameters, the set and repetition, and in the second field we have three parameters, set, repetition and weight. Okay, now if you look here on the top left corner, we can see there is a small icon. If we click on this icon, we can select a let's say an image like this one. This can be very useful to make the challenge more recognizable. So we can here we select we can put an icon that describes in some way our challenge. Then underneath here we have the possibility to write a short description. The short description is useful for two reasons. Can be used just to describe better the challenge. In this way in the future we will be able to recognize it, or we can put some detail on how to perform some exercise. So we can say for example, this program is to condition the legs. Perform it 3 times a week. Okay. The next field we have the keywords. The keywords are useful when you want to search very easily your challenge, or to allow your friend to search your challenge. The keyword must be separated by a simple space. So in this case the keyword will be leg, squat and deadlift. Leg, squat and deadlift. Now if you go down, now we have the possibility to write a link. What is a link? Is the link of a website that in some way explain how to perform this challenge, or maybe part of this challenge. For example, let's put something like that. I'm going to put a website that explain how to perform a deadlift. Now if I click this button over here, automatically the application goes on the page that explain how to do the deadlift. Okay, so that can be very useful when we want to add more detail. Okay, let's go back now page. So this one you can write just one link to a web page. Then we have other two options to discuss in this section here. Generic group. If you click over here, you can select the group where to group your challenge. If this description and this link is not enough, you need more space to insert more detail about how to perform this challenge. You have the opportunity to create a page. If you click this button over here, the button with a P, you have an empty, at the moment you have an empty page that you can fill with more details. For example, you can click over here and then you have let's say 6 details. The first one is a title. Here you can write the title of your challenge, the challenge title. Then here, if you click this button here, you have possibility to write. You have the opportunity to write a text. This is the description of this challenge, and then you can write as many words you want. Then you have the opportunity to you can also put a video web. A video web is nothing more than a, let's say, a YouTube for example, iYouTube web. For example, you go on the URL, then you write the address of the video, and now you have your video over here. This can be very useful when you have to put more than one videos. Okay, now we go, also we can put some images. We click over here, we go down, we open the folder icon, we select, for example, an image over here. In this way we can explain, for example, how to perform our challenge. So we can put in this, with this option here, video in images, we can load images on our computer, or images or video, and then we have a link. Press link, we have something like this, so we can go here and select, for example, the 1 second, I will select this one. Okay, this one. So the link to a web page that we one or more web pages, so we can put as many links as we want. And then at the end we have a map. You put a map when you have a map where maybe when you are running you want to define. Another interesting option that we have inside the challenge is the chronometer. If you press this one, we open the chronometer page. Now, what is a chronometer? A chronometer is give us the opportunity to create a sequence of steps and determine a sequence of steps. Let's click on this button over here with tool button, and now we have this option here. So the first thing is you create a step where, for example, you have to do some exercise. So let's say you say squat for, I don't know, let's say one minute. Then now we add a rest time, squat, rest for, say, let's say 30 seconds. Then let's add another stuff like this, another step. So squat, rest, and let's say deadlift, and then again another rest, deadlift, let's say rest for 30 times. So this is a sort of program in terms of time. Before here in the field you decide which exercise to do, and here with the chronometer you can decide the time where you perform. So you have three options. The first option is an exercise. The second is rest, and the third is a recycle. That means start again and repeat this stuff here for 3 times, and then you have a stop. Let's say click this one, this stop. That means after this one the application stop, and something like that. So these can be very useful. And then what happens is when you do your exercise, you just go over here and you press start, and the system will start to read this one, and then will read a voice will say squat, and then rest, and then deadlift, and then this way can be very useful. So let's stop over here. So the chronometer is something that allows you to put a time, a way to perform your exercise following some particular time. And when you have the possibility to do this by opening your challenge or opening the page where you are going to store your data. So this can be very useful when you want to exercise, you want to perform your exercise in a particular time, with time for exercise and a defined time for the rest. Another interesting option that we have in a challenge is to write formula. If you go down here, there is this button over here with a formula, with the symbol of a formula. And if you click over here, if you click once, you have this panel that allowed you to create a formula. Which way we can create a formula? So the first thing we need, suppose that we want to sum up these two, the set and the rep of the squat. So we can say, we put 3, we click this option here. Now we have this, our formula will be composed of 3 elements. We click over here and we set legs, exercise, deadlift, set. Then we click this one, we select the operation, let's say multiplied. We click this one and we select a repetition. This way we have deadlift set, deadlift rep. We give it a name, total deadlift, deadlift, and now we press this one button here. Then if you want, here we can write a description of this formula and the minimum and maximum target. And now let's save this one. Okay, now we have a formula, total deadlift. So when we will chart our challenge, we will have the data of this stuff plus the data of this formula. At the end, we have other 2 buttons. Save as public. Save as public means I want to make this challenge, to create a copy of this challenge in the public area. We will discuss the public challenge in another video because it's a quite long subject. So today you need to know that this is something to create a copy of your challenge, and will be not a private one, but public. That does not necessarily mean that everyone can see that, but means that it becomes something that does not belong to you anymore. But we will describe this in more detail.